My name's John Shepherd, and I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs. And the faculty today, with the Graduate Students Association, is hosting a whole-day orientation for graduate students. So the session you're in is for graduate students who are in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, which is known as FAS, and the Faculty of Public Affairs. In the faculty, we work very closely with the Graduate Students Association, and this day forms one day in a 2-week welcome series of events that the GSA puts on every year, and it's reputed to be one of the best in the country. So without further ado, I'd like to invite the President of the Graduate Students Association, Elizabeth Whyte, to come up and introduce herself and say a few words of welcome.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be introduced by saying we throw one of the coolest parties in the country, so welcome. It's a pleasure for me to have this opportunity to speak with you all. It's nice to get everyone in a room together. I'm sure many of you aren't really sure what the GSA is, like Graduate Students Association, and really what it is, it's all of you guys. You're all members, and the way we run the organization is it's a member-driven organization. So I myself am one of the executives who are elected by all grad students, and then we take our direction from our council, which has representatives from each of your departments. So if you want to get involved in council, there's a table out back. It's our GSA table. You can ask your questions there, and there'll be time over the next couple of weeks to get more information on how to get involved. As an organization, we provide a range of services, such as I think one of our best ones is the most affordable printing on campus. We do community development, like these 2 weeks of welcoming that we have. And we also do advocacy. So we do a lot of work around trying to make post-secondary education more affordable. So if any of those things interest you, I hope you'll come and visit us. We're on the 6th floor of the University Center, and you can try out our lounge up there. We've got some affordable coffee, maybe get some printing done at the beginning of the semester, and we hope that you'll all think of getting involved. Thanks.
So the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs represents the interests of graduate students and also of the postdoctoral fellows we have in the university. Graduate students are extremely important to Carleton University, and for 2 reasons. The first is that graduate students in this university supply something like 1,500 teaching assistants who help deliver the university's undergraduate programs. So we simply couldn't deliver those undergraduate programs without you. The other reason that graduate students are extremely important to the university is the contribution you make to the research activities and the research agenda of the university. Most of us, I think, are students all our lives, but those of you who've just graduated from undergraduate degrees and are moving into master's programs will be making a shift, I think, from being a student to being really an apprentice teacher and an apprentice researcher. And that, of course, is true for the doctoral students who are moving on from master's programs. So you're extremely important to us, and we welcome you. And to continue with that welcome, I'd like to introduce the Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Peter Ricketts, who in a previous life was also a graduate dean, so really understands graduate studies and the affairs of graduate students. So I'd like to invite Dr. Peter Ricketts to the podium to say a few words of welcome.
Thank you very much, John. Good morning, everybody, and on behalf of the university, it is a great pleasure for me to welcome each and every one of you as a graduate student at Carleton University, and particularly to welcome all those of you, the large majority of you by the look of the hands that went up, who are new to Carleton and coming to Carleton for your graduate work, having done your undergraduate studies at another university. So it is a great pleasure to welcome you, and I hope you really will enjoy your time here at Carleton University as a graduate student. As Dean Shepherd mentioned, I was a Dean of Graduate Studies in a former existence. So I am sort of some proof that there is life after being a Dean of Graduate Studies. So, no, what kind of life, I don't know. But anyway, that's another topic for probably a psychology course. But anyway, I was a Dean of Graduate Studies at Dalhousie University in Halifax, which has a very large graduate school. And so for many years, I was intimately involved in the promotion of and supporting of graduate studies. And particularly, and one of the things that I think I enjoyed most about being a Dean of Graduate Studies, as opposed to maybe being a dean of one of the other faculties, is that I spent a lot of my time supporting and dealing with graduate students, you. And that's something that I think is one of the very rich rewards of being a graduate dean. But it also tells you that you have at the university a very senior academic administrator who is supported by associate deans, who I see in the audience, and also a very capable and dedicated staff in the Faculty of Graduate and Postgraduate Affairs who are there to support you and to help you. And so that's particularly important. So in addition to the help and support that you will get from your individual academic program, you also have the support at the institutional level of the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs. And Dr. Shepard, his office is at the opposite end of the floor in the top of the 5th floor of Torrey, where my office is, and I can tell you that he never fails to get an opportunity to get my attention and to tell me about the things that graduate studies needs and all the good things that you're doing. So you have a very, very strong person representing you. But as a former graduate dean, I also, as the dean mentioned, appreciate the importance of graduate studies and graduate students to the life of the university. I've actually worked at universities that had, as I've said, very strong graduate programs, but I've also worked at universities that had no graduate programming. And so I've actually seen and know what it's like to be at a university where there are not graduate studies and to know how much the faculty at those universities wish they had graduate studies. In fact, I've actually built graduate programs at universities that didn't have them before. And that's a very exciting experience, but it also was sort of a real message to me as to, you know, what the difference in dynamic between universities that have graduate studies and graduate students. So we really value and appreciate the role that you play in supporting this university, but also in enriching the academic diversity, the richness of the academic discussion, and also, as the dean mentioned, your support in the delivery of undergraduate programs. Now, all of you, hopefully, as a graduate student here at Carleton, will have a teaching opportunity. Most of you will get an opportunity to be a teaching assistant, and some of you may have already. How many of you actually been TAs as an undergraduate? Just a few of you, not too many, but those of you who've had that experience as a senior undergraduate will know how difficult it is, but also how rewarding it is. Because when you become a teaching assistant and you tend to engage very directly with the undergraduates, because you might be a teaching assistant of a seminar group or a lab or a small subsection of a much larger class, so you will often get the opportunity to interact very directly with the undergraduate students, and sometimes they will look upon you as being the first point of contact. And that experience of mentoring, supporting, and actually that sort of, you know, wondrous moment when you actually explain something to somebody and they turn around and they say, "Gosh, I get that. Yes, thank you very much." You think, "Whoa, I didn't realize I could actually explain this topic." But it's a very rewarding experience. But it's also an experience, and some of you, as doctoral students particularly, will get the opportunity to actually teach courses. And so you'll get a really strong teaching experience here, and we think that that is a really important part of a graduate experience. Now, not because all of you are going to go on and be teachers. I mean, Dean Shepard, myself, and Associate Dean Clement, we all went to university and we never left. We're still here because we loved it so much. But not everybody's going to do that, right? Not all of you are going to go on to be university professors. Not all of you are going to go on to be teachers. But I can guarantee you that all of you are going to go on and be leaders in whatever profession or whatever life or whatever calling you have in your lives, because of your graduate experience and your graduate training and the skills and the knowledge and the confidence that it will give you. And so each and every one of you will be called upon to teach at some point in your job, whether it's to give seminars or to sell, to pitch something to your colleagues or to promote something. Whatever it is, you'll be called upon to communicate, to make public presentations, and to actually teach, even though you may not be formal teachers. So the experience that you will get here in the teaching side of it will be absolutely critical and very important to helping you in your future success when you move on beyond the university, or if you go on into the teaching profession and research profession. The final thing I want to say is that your experience as a graduate student should also not only be, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, it's going to be challenging, you're going to be actually challenged like you've never been challenged before, but it's also going to be enjoyable. And your time as a graduate student, you should be able to look back on that and always view that as one of the best times of your life. I know I look back on my graduate experience that way, and partly it's because you may never get another opportunity to have so much ability to explore things in depth, to actually get into issues and get into delving into knowledge and creating new knowledge. You may not get that experience quite like this again, so make the most of it. And as I've said, the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs is here to help you. We provide a lot of support at Carleton to graduate students. We provide a lot of financial support, but there's also academic support, personal support, career guidance support, lots of services at this university that are there to help you. And I encourage you to find out about those, and during this orientation, I think you will be presented with the information that you need to know where to go when you have questions or you need help. But also make sure that you use those services and get that support, because we want you to be academically successful, but we also want you to feel that this has been a personally rewarding and enjoyable experience. So once again, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Carleton University, or to welcome you back to Carleton if you're returning to us, and to wish you all the best in your academic studies. I wish you every success, wish you an enjoyable time, and I look forward to meeting many of you during the course of the year, and also I look forward to the wonderful contribution that you're going to make to the academic life and the intellectual life of this university. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Okay, well, for the next 45 minutes or so, you'll be hearing from individuals who either head units at Carleton University or work for them, who offer services that graduate students can take advantage of. So I'd like to begin by introducing Larry McCloskey, who's head of the Paul Menton Center at Carleton University. Carleton for many years has been regarded as a leader and a pioneer in the support and services that the university does provide for students with disabilities. And Larry McCloskey has been the real leader in that achievement. So it gives me a great deal of pleasure to invite Larry to the podium to say a few words to you about the Paul Menton Center.
Morning. I think it was Woody Allen who once said, 80% of success is just showing up. So if you follow that logic, it means you can probably goof off till about March and you'll be okay. No, as you know, the 20% of finishing towards success is really the tough part. So no, you have to kind of hang in there and do the hard stuff now. If you're a graduate student with a disability, or if you're someone who would like to help out and support a graduate student with a disability, you picked a great time in terms of Carleton and the Ontario's history. When I started here back at the dawn of time, we had a small number of students with disabilities, very few or almost no students, graduate students, and we were about 90% physical disabilities or sensory, blind, deaf. And over the vast number of years, of which I won't give a figure, we have flipped, and we are now 90% non-visible disabilities. And there's been sort of waves of students, students with learning disabilities at one time were considered something that was kind of strange to a university. And there was a lot of work done with psychoeducational assessments and with really to show that these are students who belong here. Subsequently, we've had students with psychiatric medical disabilities come. 5 years ago, we didn't have any students with Asperger's syndrome, and now we have over 50. And these are all students who historically did not come but have good intellect and are able to meet the mark for all academic course requirements. So it's a very good thing. And we at Carleton now have registered with documentation about 1,500 students. And we have, in addition to paid staff in various capacities, we have about 750 volunteers, which is an amazing number of people who support students with disabilities. So if you're interested in assisting, there's some great work, great on your resume too, I might add. And if you go to see Bruce Ham, he will set you up and make your life more interesting and worthwhile. Please don't forget this afternoon, there's 2 workshops, one on academic accommodation guidelines for students with disabilities, and also services and supports for graduate students with disabilities. So those are not to be missed to round out your day. And just a final note about where we're at. This is an amazing time this year. You'll hear lots of things. The Paul Menton Center, with some faculty, have been funded to try to create a world-class disability institute. And the working title is going to be READ, which is Research, Education, Accessibility, and Design. And we're going to build towards a day on October 27th where we're going to have a number of events which highlight this whole Disability Institute. And Rick Hansen's going to come and he's going to partake, and it'll be very interesting. The president's going to be involved, as is the mayor, Jim Watson. So welcome, and do come by. The staff at the Paul Menton Center are very accommodating. We'll ask your questions, get you involved. I know you've got nothing but free time from now until March, so all the best. Thank you.
So being a bit of a technophobe myself, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mary Katherine Roberts, who from Computing and Communications Services. This is a very useful service here on campus for people like myself, so please come on up.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, I work in the IT department here at Carleton University, and it's really fun working in IT because things are constantly changing, and we work to not only maintain the status quo, but to also be innovative and to deliver the best services that we can for you to be able to do what you do. So your first point of contact with us was probably your student computing account. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you activate your student computing account. This gives you access to the wireless networks on campus, gives you access to the computer labs, and we have over 600. And we actually have 2 computer labs designated for grad students, so you have priority in these labs. And these labs are in Dunton Tower, and they're in Loeb. You can also use your student computing account to get remote access to any secure resources that we have on campus through our virtual private network. I won't get all technical on you, but basically so you can access any secure files that you have here. You also get a network drive, and you get access to the My Carleton portal. Now, the My Carleton portal, for those of you who are new to Carleton, this is where you go to check your Carleton email. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we have on there, like our learning management system, which is WebCT at this time right now. You can also check your grades through Carleton Central, register for courses, and all that good stuff. So when setting up your student computing account, just a little security tip, make sure that you use a strong password. We have a bunch of tips on our website at carleton.ca/CCS, so you can check us out there. And you're coming actually at a really good time because we just launched Carleton Mobile. This is our mobile app for current students. So if you have an Android or if you have an iDevice, an iPhone, you can get it at the Android Market or in the iTunes store. And with this, you can see our campus map, you'll be able to view your grades in October, you'll see your schedule, so all kinds of stuff with the Carleton Mobile, so make sure you download that if you have a smartphone. So at any point at Carleton, you require technical assistance or you need help, we have a CCS service desk who's there for you. The phone number is 520-3700, but if you go to our website, you can get a bunch of resources there, how-tos, how to connect to the wireless, and our support desk is there for you to call or email, and we also have offices on the 5th floor in the library, so feel free to come up and see us. Today, I'm at room 317 at 1 o'clock, and I'll just be holding kind of an open house, so feel free to stop by. I'm going to have some 1 gig USBs as sort of incentive too, so yeah, so welcome.
Well, as Larry McCloskey and Mary Catherine Roberts mentioned, starting late this morning and going right through till about 4 o'clock, there will be open houses in this building, Southern Hall, where many of the organizations who are presenting this morning will be available, so you can spend more time with them and learn more about what their organizations do. A few years ago, Carleton started a co-curricular record, which allows students to place on record activities that they're engaged in outside their academic studies, which may be very useful for them in the future, this record, in terms of employment and so on. So it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce Natalie Pinto, who is from the Co-Curricular record.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for that introduction. So yes, I'm here to talk about the Co-Curricular record. It was a program that came to Carleton in about January 2010. It actually originated in American schools. However, in Canada, it's originated at Wilfrid Laurier University and at the University of Calgary. I'm not sure if any of you did your undergraduate or any other graduate degree programs at those two institutions, but if you have, then you'd probably be familiar with the Co-Curricular record. So as Dean Shepherd mentioned, the Co-Curricular record is an official record that is designed to recognize your out-of-class involvement on campus. This can include any leadership development opportunities, any co-curricular, extracurricular activities that you may take part in after class, as well as any Carleton community service opportunities throughout my office. I'm from the Office of Student Affairs, as well as an office I partner with, which is the Student Experience Office. We have many extracurricular activities that we offer in community service type development activities. So the types of activities that can be included on the record are those including many clubs and societies that are recognized by the GSA, as well as your faculty societies, as well as any athletics, varsity sports, and as I mentioned, any mentorship programs that are taking place on campus that you may want to take part in. There's a whole other wide variety of activities that are also being recognized, but I will go into more in depth on those during my presentation this afternoon. The record is really useful for you to use throughout the school year. You can add your activities throughout the school year and then use it for when you need to market yourself to any professional programs, if you want to do any other further master's degrees or postdoctoral degrees or any other professional program, as well as it's a really good resume tool. You can attach your curricular record to your resume if you're looking to impress prospective employers, and it's a really neat tool to have with you when you finish your time here at Carleton. So if you want more information about the Co-Curricular record, my presentation is going to be taking place at 1 p.m. today in room 303 Southern Hall. If you can't attend my presentation, if you'd like more information about the Co-Curricular record, our website is www.carleton.ca/CCR. We often, when we refer to the Co-Curricular record on campus, we call it the CCR, so it's an easy acronym to remember. And on that website, it contains an activity directory, which holds all the activities on campus that are currently recognized by the Co-Curricular record. So if you're looking to get involved on campus, you're not sure what types of activities that exist, feel free to check out that activity directory. As well, if you're involved in an activity and it's not on the currently in our database of activities you can add to the Co-Curricular record, our website also features a neat tool where you're able to get that activity registered with the Co-Curricular record so that you can add it to your record. Anyways, so thank you very much for your time, and I hopefully will see a bunch of you at my presentation this afternoon. Thank you.
So our next guest kind of comes from the area of career services. Being a master's in social work student whose cohort has just completed their last practicum, many of my colleagues have used this services, and I've gone up there actually and really have been aided. You know, sometimes you see like 8 different templates for a resume and it's really overwhelming. This is the place to go to find out how to go about getting a job when you're all done. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Kerry Eamer, and thank you very much, Elizabeth. I'm the Director of Co-op and Career Services here. It's interesting that everyone that's gone before me, we're all so interconnected. So Katherine spoke about, or Mary Katherine spoke about the Carleton portal, so Carleton Central. And this is a portal you're going to want to get to know fairly well because it's where you go for everything. And one of the things that you really want to get to know in the portal is my Carleton. Sorry. Anyway, basically, in that portal, you will find My Career. And My Career is a link to all of the services that we provide. So you can find job opportunities on there. You will find workshops that have an audio component to it for those of you who like to listen as well as watch. And there's also an opportunity for you to be able to book appointments to see either employment advisors or a career counselor. Some of you may know where you want to go once you've finished your graduate programs, but I bet that there are quite a few in the room who may have some concerns or may not quite know how it is that you're going to translate your academic experience into experience that you can articulate on a resume or on a CV. And that's one of the things that we do. Career services is really more education, if you will, in a different aspect. Basically what we do is we work with you on finding out what your values are and where it is that you want to go and how are you actually going to apply all of the experiences that you've had. So one of the things I would highly recommend that you do is go into the Carleton portal, click on My Career, take a look around at some of the resources, and come and see us. We're in 401 Torrey. We'll have walk-in days. You can drop in and see a career counselor. That's a new service that we're putting on for graduate students this year. Or you can book an appointment if you feel that you want to have a further conversation or you have something specific that you'd like to discuss. I know a lot of people in the room are probably more focused on, getting into your classes and worrying about your research and all of the things that you're going to need to do to get your graduate degree. I'd like to encourage you to try to think about incorporating some of the activities that we do provide through the Career Center into this next couple of years that you're going to be here, because although we'll be willing to help you and work with you once you've finished your program, I think you'll find it a more fulsome experience as you do your program if you have an eye to or keep in mind why it is that you're doing this, and it'll help you, I think, have a clearer objective by the time that you finish and when you go to graduate. So as Natalie talked about the co-curricular record, that's one aspect of it, and we can also help you with how do all of these things intermingle. This afternoon, Yvonne Collins is going to be doing a workshop, and she's going to talk a little bit more about some of the services that we provide. However, she's also going to do a little bit about what we call the hidden job market. And it's a phrase that may seem fairly obvious in that people think, okay, so I have to, talk to my friends and my friends' friends and my neighbors and my parents and that kind of thing. However, the hidden job market is often within you. And so there's a lot of inner reflection that happens, and I don't mean to sound all, soft and touchy or anything, but you have all the answers. So we can't give them to you, but we can help you find them. Anyway, 401 Torrey, My Career, check it out. Thanks very much.
So in the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs, we're actually responsible for your sort of academic progress from the moment that you apply to Carleton till the moment you walk across the stage and get your diploma. But there's another office at Carleton University which is very important for graduate students, and that's the office of the Associate Vice President, Students and Enrollment. They provide an impressive, really impressive range of services and activities that are available equally to undergraduates and graduates. So with that introduction, I'd like to invite Jennifer Elliott, who is from the Office of the Associate Vice President, Students and Enrollments, to come and talk to you for a few minutes about that office and the services and support they can provide for graduate students.
Thank you, Dean Shepherd. My name is Jennifer Elliott, and I work in the Office of the Associate Vice President, Students and Enrollment. Welcome to Carleton. This is a great size room, and I hear there's a room downstairs as well. That's really exciting. As Dean Shepherd mentioned, together with the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs, we support a positive learning environment for all Carleton students. We promote the complete university experience, and I think you've been already hearing about that today. Overall, we offer a wide range of programs and services to students to support their academic and extracurricular experiences. Now, I kind of have a bit of a list, but I think it's really important for you to hear about quite a lot of the services that we offer, so apologies in advance for the big long list. So, some of the offices that you will encounter include the awards office. If you receive OSAP or provincial loans from out of province. Some bursary programs are available to graduate students and emergency loans as well. As Kerry mentioned, the career office is a very important office for you, and we also support co-op at the master's level. Sorry, I'm 9 months pregnant and a little out of breath just from coming up those 3 stairs. We also offer graduate and postdoctoral fellows certificate programs, as well as graduate special days, career counseling, and professional insight panels through career services. Our health and counseling services offers medical and counseling services and health promotion. That's really important because we want to encourage your development as the whole student. So if you are experiencing any health issues, please take advantage of that office right away. We also offer support for international students through our International Student Services Office. That includes your UHIP, transition and orientation programs, and we do have some exchange options for graduate students. The Paul Menton Center for Students with Disabilities offers accommodation support and assessment of learning disabilities. Learning Support Services offers some of our study skills workshops. If there's anything you need to brush up on, please feel free to drop by the 4th floor of the library and take advantage of those. Our writing tutorial service offers individual writing support as well as writing workshops for graduate TAs. All the graduate students have access to the Co-Curricular record, as Natalie mentioned, as well as our Student Activities Fund through the Student Affairs Office. Graduate students can also apply to become tutors as part of our tutor referral service program. One area that is also very important for graduate students to be aware of is, especially if you are in your role as TAs, is our academic integrity policy. Later today, Ryan Flanagan, the Director of Student Affairs, will be offering 2 workshops on academic integrity, and I encourage you to take advantage of those. One will be at 11 o'clock and the other at 3. What he will do is he's going to go over the academic integrity policy and also provide tips on how to spot academic integrity issues in your classroom. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that. Overall, I think that the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs and the Office of the Associate Vice President offer a tremendous amount of support for all graduate students, and I really encourage you to take advantage of every opportunity to get the support that you need. Have a great time at Carleton.
So next we'll be having a speaker from the library. And I remember when I first got here, I was like, I know how to use the library. I did my undergrad. I think I know what I'm doing. And then I realized about 6 months in that I had barely scratched the surface. And I had the opportunity to use some of the special librarians who are really well versed in specific topic areas, and to some degree slightly saved my thesis. So I think it might seem like something you know what you're doing, but I think you'll learn even more.
Good morning. Welcome from the library, and this is an awesome turnout. We are always striving to have such a turnout for our workshops in the library, so I hope you make the effort for us as well. Today I hope to give you or to open the door to the resources that we offer in the library, both including staff or human resources, print and electronic resources, and some of the services that we also offer. Some things that you probably know about, and some things that you might find rather strange that you could find out about them in the library. But that's what we're aimed to do, to always keep you on your toes. We also, throughout the year, even if you don't get a chance to attend our workshops today, we offer consultations and workshops throughout the year. And I would like to personally attest to the many rewarding and lengthy relationships that we have had with graduate students throughout their career, when they become postdocs, when they start to teach, and so on. So in some cases that has, in my case particularly, meant 10 years of relationships with graduate students. And they have enriched my life as well. Today, at 12 and at 2, we have in room 406 of Southern Hall, you can meet with not just me, I represent the humanities in the library, but also librarians from science and engineering, the social sciences, and also from government documents. And they will talk about various different kinds of things. The topics that we will try to highlight today include citation management. So if you're wondering about how you're going to deal with all those articles and books and so on, and databases that you've accessed, how you're going to manage all of that, we now have a couple of services that we can offer, RefWorks and WizFolio, so we'll have somebody to talk about that. We'll have somebody to talk about both quantitative and qualitative data management. So that would include NVivo and our data center. So we will have a little bit of you'll get an idea at least of what's available to you in that way. And we'll have a librarian that will talk about some of the COS databases, which include COS scholars and COS funding, so that you can learn about what grants might be available to you out there in the great wide world. We'll also have some chatter about rapid access and the GSA Award for Open Access. I believe that's something that Elizabeth would know about. And also how to track down all those theses so that before you decide what you're going to work on, you make sure that nobody else has done that, and through our RACER system. And just to conclude with two final things, while I was listening to Larry and so on, I realized that I could give a plug for the library as well. But also, before you leave here, the one piece of information that I want you to know is that your student card equals your library card. Your barcode and your Carleton Central PIN give you off-campus proxy access to all our resources. That's the one piece of information that I want you to take away today. And just to conclude, Larry mentioned that it's sort of an interesting time in terms of the Paul Menton Center and that, and it's an interesting time for the library. The library was one of the 3 original buildings on campus, and I hate to confess, but I was there about that time. I started my career there. So, and I have been a Carleton student in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and then an employee in the 90s. So I do have a lot of Carleton blood in me. And now we are about to be renovated. We have a grant or funding from the provincial government to the tune of $16 million, a matching grant from the university to renovate our building. We were majorly renovated in 1990, 1991, and we are looking forward to what our new surroundings and our work environment will be. It will be a bit challenging for us, but we're hoping to make it as easy for you to access us and our services as it has always been. So I hope to see you this afternoon. Thank you.
Well, as Jennifer Elliott mentioned, if you have OSAP or out-of-province funding, then you need to know about the awards office, which comes under the Associate Vice President, Students and Enrollment, which is in Robertson Hall. However, all other graduate student funding is administered by the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs. We administer something in excess of $40 million a year in various forms of graduate student support. Much of that comes in the forms of TA-ships and scholarships from the university's operating budget. But a very significant part of it comes in the form of various external awards and endowed awards. So to speak about those, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce my Associate Dean, Programs and Awards, Wallace Clement, and our External Awards Officer, Leslie Main.
Thank you, John. Good morning. Carleton is very proud of our success rate for external awards. There are two fundamental reasons why we're so successful for external awards. The first and most important is the quality of graduate students we have at Carleton. You. The second reason is that we put a great deal of effort into assisting graduate students in applying for these highly competitive external awards. The most basic, the most fundamental of these external awards is Ontario Graduate Scholarship, OGS. These are worth $15,000 a year, and we have about 400 of Carleton students who apply for them and are successful, and 400 students who come into and take them up at Carleton. So it's very important to us to support the OGS. The other one that's highly relevant to you would be SSHRC, Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council, both at the PhD level and at the master's level. Again, we're highly successful in applying for those. One of the reasons that we're successful is because we put on a lot of workshops and help students with how to manage their applications. It's very important, obviously, to qualify, to have the grades. So to qualify for an OGS, you have to have a 10.0 score. That's an average over your last 20 credits of about an A-. And you have to then put together letters of reference, and a statement. So we help you with managing your application, with the nature of the statement that you put together, and with managing your referees, which is an extremely important task. We have this afternoon 2 workshops where we will introduce you to the basic parameters about how to apply for external scholarships of all sorts. They're at what time are they? At 12 and at 3 o'clock. Leslie Main, who manages the awards, will be there, as will I, and we would be happy to answer any of your questions, but give you some tips on the fundamentals of how to go about doing that. Later on, but not very much later on in this month, we hold 3 public workshops, which are usually attended by 300 to 400 students each, about OGS on September 12th, 14th, and 16th. So they'll be held on campus. You'll be invited. They're open forums. They usually go on for about 2 hours. You don't have to stay for the whole time, but it's the level of interest that's expressed through the question and answer period around that. Individual departments and programs also hold workshops, and you should be connecting with those individual departments as well. You'll learn different things in those settings about how to put together your statement and how to involve your referees in the process of generating your statement and writing letters of reference for you. The fundamental secret about success in external awards is having your referees speak to your statement, that they know you, they know what you want to do, they know the work that you have done and wish to do. So rather than having generic kind of letters of reference, this is a person of good character, you want letters that connect to the statement that you are engaged in. So I invite you to come to one of the workshops this afternoon, get some basic tips on how to proceed, what's available, but also to attend the workshops. And the GSA also has a workshop on September 15th. So there are a variety of opportunities. Keep your ears open for your departments and your programs when they're having workshops to assist you in putting together these, and we will be pleased to support your applications. Thank you very much.
All right, so we have one last brief introduction. I'd like to introduce to you Maureen Murdock from Health Counseling and Counseling Services.
Hi, everybody. Okay, I'm to talk a little bit about health and counseling. This afternoon, there are two presentations. One is by Health and Counseling by our Patty Allen, our health educator. And so if you need to know a little bit more about what goes on in health services and what's available in terms of counseling, you can stop by her booth. The other one that's really important, and I would encourage all of you to attend, is the one on the student mental health framework. As TAs on campus, many of you are TAs, it'll be expected that you understand and know the protocol for responding to students in distress. So we've offered 3 workshops this afternoon, and I'm hoping that you'll take the time to join and attend one of those with us. Just to give you a little bit about what health and counseling provides, we're located on the other side of the track, a little bit off the beaten path, but we are over there. We provide medical, counseling, and a health promotion program. We do not provide services to students, spouses, children, or families, so it's really a student health services, and we do see some faculty and staff there as well. The clinic has physicians, psychiatrists, by referral only, counselors, nurses, and health educator. The students are covered for their visits. Often they ask. It's by their insurance, and whether you have OHIP or out-of-province insurance or UHIP, it's fine. We don't cover everything. Some things you will have to pay for, but the charge is fairly reasonable, and we do put them on our website, so if you're not sure, you can look at the website or you can call over. We do have a no-show policy and fee, which people are surprised, but we do have one, and it's on our website as well. We encourage students to make appointments for their medical problems, but we do have a walk-in clinic for issues that require same-day care, and some of the things we do is like suturing, dressings, allergy injections, things like that. So if that's something that you need, you can come on over for that. We're open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. If you are living in residence, then there are counselors in residence. We have 3 full-time counselors there that you can see. We also provide lab services to students only, so that would include the TAs, and that's Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. So if you need to have blood tests done, we can do them in the clinic for you. We do immunization, TB testing. We have a travel medicine clinic, and as I said, we do allergy shots. Okay, so hopefully you'll join us this afternoon. I really strongly encourage you to come to the Student Mental Health Framework and learn how to respond to students in distress and what the protocol on campus is. Okay?
Okay, well, I hope this orientation has given you a brief introduction to graduate studies and some of the services that we have here at Carleton. This afternoon, we'll give you the opportunity to get a bit more in-depth information. There will be workshops taking place in this building, so I encourage everyone to come back this afternoon and to really get more into depth in some of the very brief introductions that we had today. If you're a teaching assistant, make sure to stick around because your orientation starts right after this. And then some logistics. As I mentioned, the GSA, we do a lot of work around building a strong graduate student community here at Carleton. And one of the key elements that we do this with is our Welcome Weeks. So I just want to take the opportunity to highlight a few to give you a sense of the diversity of events that we put on for the next 2 weeks. We don't really do, pub night at Mike's place every night, I promise. So today we have our co-sponsored barbecue at lunchtime, and it's going to be down at Hartwell Locks. And if you require the use of an accessible taxi to get to the locks, if you could just let yourself be known to myself or any of the people who spoke at this event, and we will set up a plan. Later today, we have our co-sponsored graduate social. It's a tent nearby here serving a range of beverages, non-alcoholic and alcoholic, and some snacks, I believe. But to get into the premises, you have to have a bracelet that demonstrates that you're of age. So to get your bracelet, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a table being set out by the GSA out front here. If you go there, you can get your bracelet, they'll check your name off, and everything will work smoothly. After today, though, we have a ton of events. I just want to, these events serve to help you get to know Carleton a bit, get to know our broader community a bit, and to get to know each other a bit. So I'll give you a few examples. This is not only what we do, there are lots more in between. I really just picked some of my favorites, quite honestly. So Thursday, we have a trip to the newly renovated Museum of Nature, which is beautiful. And then we'll follow that by an evening at a local pub. And Saturday is a really big day of events. We've got the daytime events of a bus tour of Ottawa. It's like a double-decker tour as well, so if it's sunny, get there early and get a spot at the top of that bus. And then we'll follow that by a walking tour at Parliament buildings. So if you're new to Ottawa, this will be a great opportunity to see one of the landmarks in our region. And if you're not new to Ottawa, I'm from Ottawa. I went when I was like 12, and I think it's time that I took another wander. So both of those events will be followed later on by an evening of bowling and then a pub night after that. On campus, we'll be having the pleasure of a public lecture. It'll be next Tuesday by Cindy Blackstock. She's the executive director of the First Nations Child and Family Caring Society of Canada. And so I think I'd encourage everyone to come out. She's a powerful speaker. And then the big finale of Welcome Weeks is our boat cruise and an after party. Tickets you have to be purchased. There's a limited number, so I encourage everyone to scoot up to the 6th floor of the University Center and grab one, and maybe two, bring a friend. And that pretty much is sort of like a little taste of what's going on. The whole series of events you can see here, and you can get a copy of our grad bulletin, which on the back has a calendar of all the events, and it's always good to check up on our website. That'll be all the details like locations and whether you need to bring photo ID to prove you're of age and things like that. So yeah, I hope that I'll see you all at all these different events, and good luck in your studies. I think Dr. Shepard's just going to come up and say a few more words. Thank you.
This is actually the first year that we've had a whole day graduate student orientation, and a great deal of work has gone into it on the part of my office and also on the part of the GSA. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank the people who've been responsible for putting together today. From the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs, the lead has been André Loisel, who is our Associate Dean, Student and Postdoctoral Affairs. I don't know whether André's in the room. No, he's probably downstairs preparing another session. We were the first university, certainly in Ontario, to create the position of Associate Dean, Student Affairs at the graduate studies level, which I think demonstrates our commitment to graduate students. And I think I'm right in saying that in the GSA, the lead has probably been Phil Robinson, who is a permanent staff member in the GSA. Phil, are you in the room? No, he's probably working hard elsewhere. We want to make sure the beer tent goes well this afternoon. So, and also, I want to thank all the staff members in my office. In fact, the Grad Studies office is closed today so that all our staff members, and there are something like 23 of us in Graduate Studies, can take part today. I'd like to thank them for the work they're doing to make today possible, but it will also be an excellent opportunity for you to meet the dedicated and committed staff. I really want to second the Provost's words about that. I've been with them now over 6 years, and they're a wonderful team of people, but it will give you an opportunity to meet them and get to know them. They're going to be very important to you over your career at Carleton. So that winds up this particular session. If you're going to be a teaching assistant at 10:45, I think, there is another orientation where the MC will actually be André Loisel. So thanks very much for coming this morning, and good luck.